Do you know what the real language of golf is? Let me share a little story about Steve and his preacher. Once upon a time, Steve, a golf enthusiast, found himself in a tricky situation. He was set to play a round of golf with his preacher, a man of faith and virtue. Steve was known for his colorful language on the green, but he knew he had to mind his manners this time around. As they strolled onto the 12th hole, Steve found himself pitted against an obstinate sand trap. He swung once, then twice, but the ball adamantly refused to cooperate. The frustration was palpable, and despite his best efforts, Steve lost his battle with patience. A string of expletives as colorful as a rainbow escaped his lips. The preacher, taken aback by this unexpected outburst, felt an obligation to respond. With a calm voice as steady as a still lake, he said, "I have observed that the best golfers do not use foul language." Steve, still trying to regain his composure, replied, "I guess not. What the hell do they have to complain about?" Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in the world of golf, language is a fascinating element. It's not just about the technical jargon, the birdies, the bogeys, or the eagles. It's also about the emotions, the frustrations, the excitement, and the joy that are expressed on the course. Steve's story is an amusing reminder that the language of golf isn't always pristine or polished. It's raw and real, reflecting the ups and downs of the game. And let's not forget the punchline here. The best golfers apparently don't have anything to complain about. So next time you're on the golf course, remember, the best golfers don't have anything to complain about. Golf can be a tough game, especially when you're playing with Harry. Picture this, a sunny day, a perfect round of golf, and then suddenly, on the 4th hole, Harry has a heart attack. It's a grim day, but the game must go on. So what does our hero do? He hits the ball, then drags Harry. He hits the ball, then drags Harry. It's a tale as old as time, the commitment to the game, the camaraderie between golf buddies. Now, we all know that golf can be a challenging sport, but imagine the added difficulty of having to drag your friend around the course. It's not just a test of your golf skills, but also of your physical strength and emotional resilience. Poor Harry, he probably didn't anticipate his round of golf turning into such an ordeal. And let's not forget our golfer. He's focused, he's determined, he's dragging Harry. He could have easily called it a day, packed up his clubs and mourned his friend. But no, he chose to soldier on, to keep hitting that ball, to keep dragging Harry. The absurdity of the situation is almost comical, if it weren't for the tragic circumstance. It's a story that highlights the lengths golfers will go to finish their game, the unwavering commitment to the sport. It's a testament to the saying, "The show must go on," or in this case, "The game must go on." It's a tough round indeed, a round that will be remembered not only for the golfing prowess, but also for the sheer endurance and dedication. And every time our golfer hits the ball, every time he drags Harry, he's not just playing a game. He's honoring his friend. He's honoring the sport. He's honoring the spirit of golf. So remember, golf is a game of patience and endurance, especially when you're dragging Harry around. Golf can be addictive, but it's always best to be honest about it. And speaking of honesty, let's delve into a tale about a newlywed couple who decided to open up about some hidden truths on their wedding night. Picture this, a candle-lit room, the scent of roses in the air, and a couple gazing deeply into each other's eyes. The husband, a golf enthusiast, decides to lead with honesty and confesses, "Honey, I've got something to tell you. I haven't been completely honest. I am a golfing addict, and every chance I get I'm going to go and have a round." His wife, taken aback but appreciating his candor, decides to reciprocate. "Okay," she says, "since we are confessing, I haven't been completely honest with you either. I'm a hooker." Now, before you jump to conclusions, this isn't as scandalous as it seems. In golf jargon, a hooker is someone who tends to hit the ball in a curve from right to left. The husband, unfazed and always thinking about golf, responds, "That's okay. You've just got to make sure you keep your left arm straight and your head down longer." A moment of silence follows before they both burst into laughter. There they were, a golf addict and a self-proclaimed hooker, united by love and a shared sense of humor. This story serves as a reminder that even in the most unexpected situations, golf can provide a common ground and even a punchline. It also gives us a fun spin on the term hooker, which in the golfing world has a completely different connotation. So, the next time you find yourself in a sticky situation, remember this story. It might just help you navigate through with a bit of humor and a lot of honesty. After all, golf is a game of integrity, and so is life. So remember, honesty is the best policy, especially when it comes to golf. Golf can have a profound effect on life, and sometimes even death. Take Rick and John, for example, two golfing buddies who had just finished a grueling round. John noticed that Rick seemed a bit off his game that day. "Rick," John said, "you didn't seem the same on the course today. Is everything all right at home?" Rick took a moment, sighed and said, "Not really. I think my wife Sharon might be dead." John was taken aback. "What do you mean you think she's dead? Isn't it obvious whether or not she's still alive?" It was a fair question, but Rick's answer was anything but expected. "Well," said Rick, "I'm not too sure. The sex is the same as always, but the dishes are starting to pile up. Can you imagine?" The poor man was so consumed by his golfing routine that he gauged his wife's vitality based on the state of the kitchen sink. It's a humorous reminder of how golf can sometimes take precedence over, well, everything else. And it's also a wake-up call to all the golf addicts out there. If you're more familiar with your putter than your dishwasher, you might want to reassess your priorities. So, remember, if the dishes start piling up, it might not be a golf problem. Do you know how to decide whether to golf right-handed or left-handed? Well, there's a woman who has a unique method. Imagine a group of 4 golfing buddies who always hit the green at 7 in the morning on Sundays. One day, one of them gets transferred and they find themselves in need of a 4th player. Just when they're pondering who to invite, a woman nearby overhears their conversation and offers to join. They're skeptical at first, but agree to give her a try. And boy, does she impress them. She arrives right on time at 6:30 and proceeds to set a new course record with a 7 under par round. The guys are amazed and invite her back the next week. Again, she arrives at the same time, but this time she plays left-handed and matches her previous week's score. The guys are completely astounded and ask her to join them permanently. After their round, while having a beer, they can't help but ask her how she decides whether to golf right-handed or left-handed. And her answer, well, it's a bit unconventional. She explains, "Before I leave for the golf course, I check on my husband who sleeps in the nude. If his penis is pointing to the right, I golf right-handed. If it's pointed to the left, I golf left-handed." One of the guys, still baffled, asks, "And what if it's pointing straight up?" She grins and replies, "Then I'll be here at 9 o'clock. So the next time you're unsure about which hand to use, just remember this woman's method. Well, that was a fun round of golf jokes, wasn't it? We started off on the 12th hole with Steve and his preacher, where we learned that the best golfers don't have much to complain about. Then we had a rather grim day on the 4th hole, where hitting the ball came with the added task of dragging poor Harry. We moved on to confessions, where a newlywed couple shared their secret addictions, golf and, well, let's just say some unconventional golf advice. Next, we visited Rick's home, where a pile of dishes indicated a possible tragic event. But, as we all know, life and golf must go on. Our final stop was the Sunday golf group, where a talented woman golfer taught us an interesting way to decide whether to golf right or left-handed. And remember, if you ever find yourself playing golf with a naked man, make sure to check which way he's pointing before you choose your hand.